Hello, YouTube. A few days ago, we said goodbye to the Conservative Party in England. Goodbye, good riddance, etc., etc. A few days before that, we did say hello to a load of people in our lovely alliance, in our lovely kingdom. It has made us, I believe, a lot stronger. I want to have a quick rundown of who's come in. We'll do that right about now. Before the main course, however, let's have a little bit of dessert. Usually I open these as and when they come in, but for once I've been saving them. I'll save the gold chests for KVK because there's a gold chest quest, but there isn't a crystal key chest. Think I'll get anything in the crystal keys, my love? Sure. You were wrong! You were very wrong. Nothing at all. Not even a perp. Anyway, with that out of the way, this is how the kingdom looked before the migration in terms of kill points. So we were on 157 as an alliance. Alliance number 2 basically had one player in with that many kill points, and alliance number 3 had 12 million. In terms of how individuals looked, they looked a lot like this. So I was 130th with this, which is a good touchstone. That was Bot Boat, then Juju, etc., etc. So with the magic of television, let's have a look what they look like now. So we have brought in 95 players with more kill points than me. I'd say the one who really gets the imagination running is Mr. Mad Achilles, who should be joining me very soon, I hope. Ooh, interesting. He is everyone knows Mad Achilles. He's got his own excellent channels, his own excellent stuff. Very strong indeed. In fact, he's our first 3 million Canyon player here. Aside from this, well, let's not go through here. Let's just go through alliance kills. So we've gone up from 157 million in the main alliance to 449 and a lot more in the second alliance as well. In terms of how many people we've brought in, let's find the right button. I don't know the answer to it off the top of my head. This account's very much been on just business as normal while I've been playing the KVK on my other one. So let's have a look. We have brought in 118 people. I'll be honest, it's a bit of a miracle I've stayed in the top alliance. Don't know how that's happened, but I'm not going to complain. If anyone seeing this video now thinks, oh, maybe you shouldn't be, don't think that. And in terms of how good all these players are, let's go and have a look, shall we? They're all in rank 2. Got Big T. That's a big boy account, or big girl account, I should say. She's not a big girl. Why do I always say things in my videos, and I'm like, no, it's a terrible thing to say. Oh, she'd make cookies. Isn't that nice? So I don't know much about the accounts aside from power and kill points, but for the most part, they're all very impressive, right? So these are all new. I know we had very strict requirements. In the end, it came down, a lot of people came in on a previous thing, but then it came down to 4 billion kill points and 5 marches or like an excellent garrison rally. So look at all these big boys and girls here. Again, not meant to be weird. Yeah. 2 things spring to mind. Number one, next KVK looks like it's going to be an interesting one. I don't know don't know any of the teams. I don't know who will be. Obviously, it will be an A seed. I would imagine we've got to be in a good position. I also imagine it's going to be difficult for me to do much amongst these. Well, that's not necessarily true. I can get involved, put my troops into dying and whatnot. In terms of field fighting, I can stay behind them and try and get some kills. But I must say the disparity between my power and the power of all these accounts is pretty mad at the moment. Like, so let's pick a random account. Chubby Squirtle. Okay, 173562232. So that means, I picked a bad example. That means this account is about 4 years old. Big boy 4-year-old account. My account's now a year old. It's going to be a long time before I'm anywhere near this, which is fine. Like, I'd rather we win the KVK and I do a little bit than I do a load and we lose. And neither happened last time. I think about it. I did a medium bit and we lost. But if we just keep going down, obviously they're all very impressive. I mean, the one thing you never know is how many of these are like players who've been playing for years, how many of these are bought accounts, whatnot, and no one can ever know that until they're here. But it looks to be a very good spread of people. We've got about 69 here. There's loads more in the kingdom, some in the second alliance. be interesting to see A, how I can keep up, and B, what this effect this actually has on us. We'll have a quick look as well at Canyon, because that's probably the best way of seeing the strongest players. I know Achilles will be the strongest. Mad account. The ones I'm looking for here are like this. Here we go, 135, 065, 016. That's a relatively newish account. It's about 2 years old. Good stats. Few more to go through. And in fact, the ones I find most impressive are the ones as we get near the bottom. That was a good one. So here we go. The ones with recent IDs and excellent kill points. There's a chap FA towards the bottom who's really impresses me with his stats. Wherever it is. Oh, we got Finslis in as well. I'm sure I've missed loads of players, but it looks to be a nice collection. Where's FA? Here he is. This is the account I love. 42 million power. 2 years old, no, 1.5 year old account, 1.4 million kill points. He hasn't even opened tier 5. That's incredibly impressive in my opinion. Fair play to him. So how will we be able to keep up with our free-to-play lifestyle? Well, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. We have slightly better marches now. I managed to pull a ridiculous armament. We went through that the other day. They're okay, but you know, we got 5 Maxquo, YSG, 5531, not quite at 4 yet. Herman at 5551. That's it. We're a long way off being super relevant. So the idea, just grind up, I think, is the plan. See how much I can do with Crystal Tech without spending a penny, which is going to be difficult. It's going to take a lot of grinding, and sort of the result of this, whether or not I get burnt out, will dictate whether or not I'm planning to just keep going in Season of Conquest. There's much better rewards, and it's more fun, or whether I by necessity think, yeah, I gotta go back to KVK4, because if we have to grind every time, and if the grinding is so painful to do, I don't know if I'm going to be able to face that with a smile, but we shall see. I think it's possible to do well in Crystal Tech without spending anything. I think it's hard. Like, you can get max tech with it. It takes a long time, a long time. But whilst you're grinding for that, you're doing other stuff as well. You're getting the crystals and the barbarians, but you're getting equipment as well. Grinding KVK barbarians is the best way of getting equipment pieces, and you're also just getting speed up. Problem is, from what I understand, it takes more resources than you get back, and you have to fight with tier 5 to have any sort of sustain. So it takes quite a few resources. We're gonna have to bleed our farms a little bit dry. But KVK is very much on the horizon now, excuse me. Matchmaking is taking place. The 11th is when, well, it's not when pre-KVK starts, it's when one of 17 stages starts, right? When it's like matchmaking, post-matchmaking, announcement phase, pool phase, or something like that, and it gets a bit confusing. But I imagine about, what are we now, the 7th, in about a week, we'll enter pre-KVK, which is when it'll start getting interesting again. Till then, we're just grinding along, making sure we do all our daily stuff. In terms of who we'll be against, I'm pretty certain we'll be against 3289 and 3308. So let's have a quick look. We'll obviously do a more in-depth video, which Achilles will hopefully join me for. Once the allies and enemies have been announced, we can take a deep dive into the enemy kingdoms. Let's see how these guys look. I mean, in terms of power, they look comparable to us, certainly. Obviously, we don't have time to go through everyone here. Let's have a quick look at a couple of players, I guess. Oh, that's a big boy account. So that's the same season account. That's going to be a very high spender. So we're definitely going to be 3289. Excuse me. We'll almost certainly be with 3308 as well. I believe they had a massive migration. Oh, I believe they set their limit to any limit, which was a big mistake. But they fixed it quite quickly, but they'll have got in some undesirable accounts with that. But I hear they also got in a load of great alliances, great players. Yeah, 11 million account. Sorry, 11 million alliance now. Yeah, they big boys. It's going to be a good one. They were our toughest opponents last time. I think I'm right in saying I think they got the star for KVK3, which is very deserved. They were fantastic in the end. I mean, whilst we got the best stats and everything, they were the reason we couldn't win the 3 and 4v1. They were just 1v1 fine, but 2v1 they were beginning to be problematic, and 3v1 we couldn't topple them. They were too strong. It's a bloody computer being as slow as ass. Anyway, so 08, 3289, and 3310 look to be the top 3 kingdoms in our bracket. For those who don't know, the way KVK4 works is very different how it used to work, where it used to just be, right, you're going straight into Season of Conquest, good luck, and you usually got smashed because you played against a load of old kingdoms. This time you get a 42 kingdom bracket, it looks like. No, 32, that makes far more sense. 32 kingdom bracket broken down into 4 lots of 8 with A, B, C, and D seedings. And you all play in Heroic Anthem. Still, it's full Season of Conquest, so crystal tech, everything like that, bastions, crystals, whatnot. The only difference is, instead of just going against the whole gamut of kingdoms ever to play Rise of Kingdoms, you just get forced to play against the most recent 32. So the idea is it's trying to give you a bit of a gradual entry into Season of Conquest. In my opinion, it doesn't quite work because, I mean, we've seen these kingdoms. Look at this. So this kingdom's less than a year old. It's younger than my account, and like we've just seen our alliance, 10.5 million power, almost 500 billion kill points. Mad for a kingdom this size. I'd much rather play against an older kingdom than a kingdom like this in terms of being able to win. So we shall see what happens, and we shall see what our decision is to how to play the game in future, from what I think of how difficult the crystal tech grind is. Anyway, this was our migration, pretty massive. We'll do more in depth on this once the matchmaking comes out. Till then, I'm just going to carry on doing the bare minimum each day until Season of Conquest starts. We're not going to push Marauders this time. We need to save all our AP, of which I believe I have 500,000 now. I think I even have over 500,000. We're going to save all our AP for killing KVK Barbarians and just see how far we get. Right, that's me out. See you next time, friends.